There was once a young man named Ethan who dreamed of becoming a great artist. He imagined his paintings hanging in galleries, people admiring his work, and his name whispered with respect. But every time he stood before a blank canvas, he froze. He would hold his brush, stare at the emptiness, and say to himself, "Not today, I don't feel inspired yet." And so the days slipped away, quietly, like sand through his fingers. Weeks turned into months, and his dream, once burning bright, began to fade into something distant, almost forgotten. One afternoon, Ethan wandered through the old art district of his town. There, tucked between two shops, was a small studio, filled with the smell of paint and old wood. Inside, an elderly artist named Mr. Hale worked in silence. Ethan watched as the man painted, not quickly, not perfectly, but steadily. Each brushstroke seemed alive. Finally, Ethan asked, "Sir, how do you paint so well? Every piece you make feels effortless." Mr. Hale smiled without looking up. "Effortless," he chuckled. "I've been painting every day for 40 years. I've painted through storms, through sickness, through heartbreak. Most of my paintings never see the light of day, but I still paint because it's who I am." Ethan frowned. "But what if you're not inspired?" The old man paused and looked at him. "Inspiration," he said softly. "Son, inspiration is a guest. It comes and goes as it pleases. But discipline is a loyal friend. If you wait for inspiration, you'll create nothing. If you stay consistent, you'll create everything." That night, Ethan sat again in front of his blank canvas. He felt the same fear, the same hesitation, but he also remembered Mr. Hale's words. "Discipline is a loyal friend." So he began. The first painting was terrible. The second wasn't much better. But he didn't stop. He showed up again the next morning, and the morning after that. Sometimes he painted for 10 minutes, sometimes for hours. But every single day, he showed up. And slowly, something changed. His hands began to move with rhythm. His eyes started to see things differently. He began noticing beauty in the smallest details, the light on the window, the texture of an apple, the softness of a shadow. The more he practiced, the more he grew, not only as an artist, but as a person. He learned patience. He learned humility. He learned to trust the process, even when the results weren't immediate. Months passed. One morning, Ethan walked into his studio and saw his latest painting under the morning sun. It wasn't perfect, but it was beautiful. Not because it was flawless, but because every brushstroke carried a story of effort, failure, and quiet persistence. At that moment, he realized something profound. Success isn't a single event. It's not a moment of glory or a burst of genius. It's a slow accumulation of ordinary days filled with effort that no one sees. It's the decision to keep going, even when no one's watching, even when you're tired, even when you doubt yourself. That's what builds greatness. That's the art of consistency. Years later, Ethan became a well-known painter. People called him talented. They admired his art, his technique, his style. But when asked about his secret, he would just smile and say, "There's no secret. I simply kept showing up, even when I didn't feel ready." He often thought of Mr. Hale's words. And every time he picked up his brush, he whispered to himself, "Trust the process." This story isn't just about painting, it's about life. Because every dream, every goal, every transformation begins with small, quiet steps. You may not see progress today. You may feel stuck, unseen, unmotivated. But consistency is never wasted. Every day you show up, you grow, even if it's invisible. Your discipline is planting seeds that will one day bloom into something extraordinary. So keep going. Don't chase perfection. Don't wait for motivation. Instead, trust the process, because the process is what shapes you. It's what turns doubt into confidence and effort into mastery. Remember, a single brushstroke may look meaningless on its own, but together, they create a masterpiece. Your journey is the same. Each small step, each little effort, each day you refuse to give up. It all adds up. Someday you'll look back and realize that what once felt ordinary was actually sacred, because those quiet, unseen moments were the very ones that built your success. So today, whatever your dream is, write one more page, take one more step, practice one more time. Even when no one notices, even when you don't feel ready, keep showing up, keep trusting the process. Because the art of consistency is the art of becoming everything you were meant to be.